There we go. Second to last chest again, baby. I knew it. I knew it. That's why I started pressing the record button. Whew! At last, the party is drawing to a close, and look who's come to herald the ending ceremony. The Azure Dragon. The Divines must have appointed it as party planner, and I believe it wants to thank us personally for attending. We sure livened up the party with some great battles, and I bet if we party some more, we could get the Green Lion Dragon to come with us. Man, Aya really loves battles. They might be the most important thing to her, but I have to live with that for now. I'm glad I came anyway. Oh, poor Ned. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I am too. I guess friendships truly are forged in the fire of parties. Not that we're friends. Game crashed. Every time. Every time. How many times is this game gonna crash this week? Every time you breed, crash. Every time you finish an event, crash. Every time you get a dialogue pop-up box, crash. Seems like the optimization patches are going well. Anyway, now when we open the game, we should get our actual Azure Dragon. Fingers crossed. There we go. If that ever happens to you, just log back in. Hopefully, it should give you your actual reward dragon. There we go. He's such a beautiful little boy. I love him. Love his colours. And then we also get a badge. So Heaven and Earth display this badge to show your accomplishments to other trainers. Cool. Cool. I mean, I'm not going to use it, but cool. I'll take it. So now that we have this Azure Dragon, we do need to hatch it for the Crimson Raw Collection event. So we will go ahead, find him, hatch him immediately. There we go. He takes just over a day to finish hatching, so in about a day's time we'll come back, hatch the little boy. But in Heaven and Earth now, instead of us fully finishing off level 6, like I've talked about before, to get the max amount of pieces for the dragon, go back to the previous levels and clear out those first. The reason you do this is because then you can guarantee yourself the most amount of points possible. Or, not points, actual dragon pieces possible for that dragon. Because you don't want to be stuck with like 6 pieces left to go just because you did it the wrong way around. Even if you're only like 4 pieces away, you're better off being 1 piece away instead of 4 pieces away. So, just go ahead, clear out the early levels. I mean, if you are going to fully clear the event anyway, it's not going to make any difference. Again, that advice is only really relevant to people that are like really, really close to like, will I finish it, will I not finish it? It's for those people that aren't quite sure if they're going to finish off the event. It is better for you to clear out those early stages first. And I mean, after playing so many really, really long, annoying, super high costing tiles, it feels pretty good going back to the early levels and just like full clearing an entire level with 1 reset's worth of points. So, you know, take away some of that tediousness and go back and have some fun on the earlier levels. It does mean that now we still have to be sort of on it with the points that we're collecting, because you gotta think, every time you don't fully clear out a quest points, it's just going to put you a little bit further behind on finishing the event, but shouldn't be too much of a problem. This event, like I've said, is an event that is technically easier than some of the other events that we've had, as in you can earn more points on level 6 now than what you could in some of the past events, I believe, so it makes the event easier when you get to the highest level. But that is to compensate for the fact that we have to hatch all of those dragons in the Crimson Raw collection, because 3 dragons, each with about a day's worth of hatching time, that's a lot of space to take up in people's hatcheries. If you don't have any space, then that might be 3 days that it might take to hatch all those dragons, and 3 days is around about how much time we're going to have left by the time all of this is done. So it makes sense, right? It makes sense that we would have, you know, around about 3 days left if we need about 3 days of breeding. So I've seen a few people arguing over whether this event is easier or harder than the older ones. I think it works out quite the same. but for different reasons. It's like how during chain breeding events, the main issue isn't just breeding the dragon, it's the fact that you have to get the dragon to do the chain breeding event. That's where the difficulty comes from. So the difficulty of this event, yeah, it's annoying logging in and a lot of people do miss a lot of resets, but the main difficulty will come from completing the event plus you gotta hatch the dragons. So it's slightly different to what we've had before. We've never really had a collection event like this before for a regular castle event, so it's a little bit different. So we gotta get used to it. So continuing on with our castle progress, you see that we've finished up to level 3 now. We just have a few chests left now, and then we will be getting our final epic for this event, and then hopefully we should be able to unlock the final dragon from the collection event. But since we're basically at the end of the event now, I am just gonna try breeding for the dragon of the month. After the debacle last month, I'm upset, so I'm not even going to give it a week anymore before I start trying, because otherwise this game is going to do its absolute best to try and destroy me mentally. So let's see if we can get this one. I mean, if you miss out on a Zodiac Dragon, it's technically not the end of the world straight away, because they do come back every so often in chain breeding events. But if you know anything about chain breeding events, you should know that the problem with them is that the chances of breeding the dragons in them are incredibly low. But there is a chance, and that chance may be the thing that wins you a dragon that perhaps you missed out on before. Now, would they bring back one of the Zodiac Collection dragons in a bundle? Possibly, but it is quite unlikely, to be completely honest with you. But after the first time they offer it in a bundle, which is like quite early on in the month, they don't tend to bring it out in another bundle afterwards, but maybe they will. I mean, the thing was with the Dragon of the Month is they always offer them to be bought outright with gems at any given time. They do charge you like over $100 for them base, but because they have that option, I guess they see it as, yeah, well, you could have bought it if you wanted it, so you're not getting the chance now. Heh. I don't know, maybe at the end of the year, in case there's like people that have only just come into the game, maybe what they're going to do is they're just going to re-release all of them. So then newer players are going to feel like they actually had a chance at getting it. Who knows? I mean, it's up to Gameloft at the end of the day what they want to do. It's just, obviously, for some people, if they just get really unlucky with their breeding, that just means that their collection event is kaput, and that is it. And there's absolutely nothing that you can do about it. It's not like other games where it's like, if you reach X rank, you'll get a free skin. This is like, if you get unlucky and you're not willing to spend tons and tons of money to buy it outright, then an entire year's worth of effort is gone kaput. It just kind of sucks for people that haven't actually done anything, air quotes, wrong, and it's just pure RNG that sort of screws you over. And that's the problem with these sorts of games. It feels great, you know, when you manage to accidentally breed 2 legendaries in a row. You might feel like you're on cloud 9, but then you'll have times in a game like DML where you will breed absolutely nothing that you want. You might go 3 weeks without getting a Dragon of the Week that you want. You might not get the Dragon of the Month if you're really unlucky. I mean, this isn't the first time I've missed out on a Dragon of the Month. I did miss out on Pixie Dot at one point. I did miss out on some of the first year Dragons of the Month. I did miss out on another one at one point randomly. But the amount of Dragons of the Month that I've missed out on my main account after the first year of DML is probably like 2 or 3. But it does happen. And of course it's going to happen in the middle of a collection event where they're making the breed slightly more difficult. They're using the more tedious combinations for the dragons than what they're used to. I remember there were times where there were like 3 outcomes for Dragons of the Month or something stupid, and it was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna get it after like 5 attempts. Well, that was fun and fair, but, you know, despite everything, I'm not salty about it. Might sound it, but I had already really accepted that it probably wasn't going to happen like a week before the end, because even though it's completely luck and there's nothing that you can do to change it, you could just randomly get it at any point in time. It's just sort of like, yeah, I guess the game's not feeling it this time around, and it's probably just gonna not give it to me, isn't it? I didn't get my hopes up. I did use gems to see if, you know, we could change the tides of fate, but it just goes to show you. Same with a lot of people that bought the dungeon bundles. Like, there's been these weird dungeon token bundles going on recently where you can buy a set amount of tokens to take you through the actual, well, not the actual tokens themselves, the ones that let you go through the dungeon, like the actual tiles. And people have been buying those bundles, and the people that have been buying those bundles, they're beginning to realize that, you know, it doesn't matter if you buy those bundles. It's just going to be RNG as to whether you get the limited time dragon or not. And it's probably always going to be a dragon that you don't want. You might get two of the dragon that you don't want. But that's just how the game is. And if you do get screwed over with RNG, whether that's on the castle event keys or anything else, you need to understand that this is what this game is like. Doesn't matter how good, air quotes, or how bad, air quotes, you are as a player, sometimes it doesn't matter. Because sometimes the game just is designed to be unfair. And that's just the way that it is. So rather than getting salty about it, making huge forum posts, or, you know, sending direct messages to the Facebook page of DML, just live and let live, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say. Because some people get way too angry about it. And there's really no need. If you don't like the RNG in this game anymore, if it's tiring you out, just move on. It's not worth it. It's like, why would you play something that frustrates you? Why would you play something that you don't like? Why would you play something that continually annoys you? It's not worth it. It's just, it ain't worth it, my dude. So don't let it get to you. Like, hang on. Okay, I only have one more chest left. I was gonna say, wait, are there 6? Am I going crazy? But anyway, now that we're here, we've got 2 chests left, and that means that we shouldn't have too much longer left to go with this event. So, 2 chests to go. I mean, it's going to be a decent amount of points because, you know, level 5 and 6, they are not cheap. Getting to this one's going to take a little while, probably a couple of resets at least. But overall, pretty simple castle event. We're probably going to finish with like 3 days left to go, which is fine. But we do need to finish off all of those hatchings, which is why as soon as you get them, I highly recommend that you go and throw them into your hatchery and taking a look at them. But anyway, for now, after my mini ramblings, I suppose, good luck with all of your RNG. Don't get too salty about it. Go and play something that's skill-based if you want something that's not going to be based on RNG. And until next time, I will see you then.